You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keetin. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show.
Hello, everybody. Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another episode of E's Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Season 8, Episode 9, Grease Him Up.
Yummy.
Got Like a Virgin playing because we have a new virgin with us.
That's right.
Joining us tonight for the first time.
That's
Introduce
right.
yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Justin Nichols, and I have decided to join this crazy team.
And
I've been warned.
We're going to grease you up.
We are going to grease him up.
I'm Jason Ikeler.
And I'm Keetin Marchi.
And I'm Danica Kennedy.
So, guys, let's talk about Brody.
Let's talk about...
Before we talk about Brody being a little bitch, I want to say, call Brody out for his style being stuck in 2006. Anybody else notice? Like the glasses that he wears, or like he still sags his shorts.
It's a little bro-ish.
Yeah, he's turning into a bro.
But he's a Malibu guy. I mean, I don't think that like he is fitting that Malibu style. I mean, I want to divide the team already. First 30 seconds.
We're divided.
I still think he looks hot.
Really? Well, when he's got his shirt off.
No,
I don't like the hair either.
Well, I have to say that in this episode, my eyes were opened with Brody because I've been a huge fan of his sexiness since his debut on reality television. I've always thought he was super cute, but he was just a whiny little bitch this episode. Yeah. He was not very likable underneath the beauty.
I just feel like this has been a constant thing with Brody ever since he joined, like became a regular on the Kardashians this season. And I know we talked a little bit last week about it. Kind of makes me sad because like Brody, this has never been Brody's light since he's been introduced on television. He's never been the annoying bitch. He's been the fun guy. He's been the nice guy. He's been the girls guy, the guys guy. He's been he's been so likable, and I hate that I don't like him on
Well, and I feel like it's partially because of the way they edited it too, because he's probably off having fun and drinking on this trip as well. So they could have showed that, but they only show him whining.
I would love to hear what he says once this season is done about how he felt he was edited on the show, because before this season of the Kardashians, you're right, you only ever saw him on the other reality shows or in the press about him partying it up, being this macho dude that's going after all the girls and nothing can get to him. And all of a sudden this show, it's just so wow all the time.
And he's never had a lot of drama about him. He's never been the drama guy. Like I mean, Spencer and Heidi were always like full of drama, and then Justin Bobby, a lot of drama.
Justin Bobby,
Brody was always pretty chill, like on the show. I was always like a nice like breath of fresh air whenever Brody.
Well, and he is like, so we first see him when he's calling Rob and like, okay, Rob wasn't here last week, get over it, and he's still like, he's just a drama queen, everything he does.
Rob, come back. Rob, you're not fat.
I love how we can like tie the hills in with the Kardashians.
I know. It's like the best,
perfectly.
The best of both worlds.
It really does. And I would love to have Brody in here because he does seem so different on all the shows he's been on.
We want you, Brody. We want you bad.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, I've never thought of him as being such a complainer and such a whiny person and so sensitive. Like I always thought of him as being like this strong kind of manly, masculine, like I can take people's shit kind of guy. And he is so delicate and fragile in this episode.
Even on this one episode, it was, at first, before this episode even, my father doesn't like me. I don't have a relationship with my father. And then, Chris doesn't like me. My buddy and partner in crime's not here. Like, there's not a single person on this trip that's making him happy. It's funny, too,
because in his confessionals, he's like, I just want to be, like, really easygoing. Like, I'm super chill. And anytime he's with somebody, he's like, so what do you think's going on with Chris and me?
Yeah,
you know,
he's the only one stirring
making
up
the drama.
drama.
Exactly.
And he's like, I loved as like he was sitting at dinner with Leah and Brandon, and as soon as like Bruce got up, he was just like, okay, you guys, so Kris like rubbed my back, and
we have to talk about
we
Kris.
have to talk about Kris. Chris's awkwardness with Brody.
Well, first let's talk about Kris in this wig.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I kind of liked it. I liked it the first time. I didn't like it with the head wrap.
Where in this entire episode did you possibly think that Kris looked good in that
I loved
wig?
it the first time we saw the wig. I just thought it was
She
different.
looked
I thought it
really
was
like
kinda
classy, kind of like old school. But
Yeah.
I don't even think
I mean,
like
it
when
wasn't
she
like
was
a
younger,
good wig.
I don't think she's ever had long hair like that. Like when I think of pictures back with like, when like the girls were younger, like she's always had that adorable crop, and like
Yeah.
a lot of women can't do that. So props to Kris and her bone structure for being able to pull off that look. But
And her bone structure.
Props to her plastic surgeon for that bone structure.
I think she's just trying to have fun though. Girls love switching up their hair. I'm sure, like you guys have done. We're all blonde.
I know. Do
But-
you remember when Kim wore the blonde wig?
Yes.
So funny.
And the Kris wig when she
And
just
she got-
started acting like Kris.
Oh my god.
I just posted a picture on my Instagram of me in a brown wig that I tried on 2 days ago on set, and it looked very weird. I was like, I've always been a blonde. I love being a blonde. Justin would not have been allowed to be on this panel if he wasn't blonde.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Now all of
very
our
lucky.
fans that are Kardashian fans are gonna think we're like blonde
Horrible.
power
Yep.
people.
Kind
we
of
should all
ironic.
come in with different hair colors next weekend.
No.
Okay.
I was so happy when that wig finally went into the water, and I'm
Oh.
really sad that she went and fished it back out of
What
the
did
water.
Khloe say? The Lord works in mysterious ways.
That was yeah.
Well,
So-
she was like drunk jet skiing with a wig on. So,
I love when Kris drinks though.
Me too.
It makes me want to be an alcoholic.
Which means that you like Kris all of the time.
Yep,
'Cause I think
exactly.
in every single episode,
We
every
need to
single
turn
shot.
it into a
Drunk.
drinking game while we watch the show, so we have an extra special after show.
Exactly.
Maybe the
So
season
speaking of
finale.
extra special things,
Yeah.
Kris goes and she decides to like mend the relationship with Brody. She's gonna like joke around with him. So she rubs tanning oil on his back, and it's so sexual and awkward because she starts rubbing his back, and she's like, "You feel just like Bruce did when he was
it
a
wasn't
kid."
sexual until she said that. Like it didn't. Like she wasn't
It was
doing
still
it.
kind of
It
sexual.
was pretty sexual.
I disagree. I didn't think it looked that sexual. I mean, for her to just go up and be like, "Let me rub oil on your back," that's just kind of weird in general. Because I don't.
But
think you're
reverse
gonna
the
go up to
roles.
anybody.
If Bruce had a stepdaughter, if Bruce went up to like Khloe and started rubbing his back and said, "You feel just like Kris," wouldn't you be like,
no,
"What the
that,
hell are
I know,
you doing?"
but
Yeah.
it started when she made the comment. I don't think when she originally was like rubbing his back or like offered, you know, to put suntan lotion on it or whatever
Yeah.
she put on his back. I don't think that was awkward. But then she crossed the line. She,
Well,
took it a
she made
step
that
too
comment
far.
at dinner, which I didn't think was a big deal at all. I don't remember what she said. It was where else she was wearing the wig, but it was something about like, oh, it's sexual favors or something.
Oh no, she
But
she
she's
was
just
like, Bruce, just
joking.
Yeah,
yeah, look
I didn't-
beautiful.
And I thought Brody overreacted to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Completely.
But different story when she's rubbing sunscreen on his back.
But he didn't stop it. He got up off at the table and like left and like pouted off and like stomped his feet, whatever.
Runs away with a towel
And
in
then,
front
but
of him.
like, but he like let Kris do it and didn't say anything. He was just like, okay.
Well, the
Like, it was
dinner
the
table
girls
one
that were
was
saying
awkward.
Yeah.
I felt like because Kris is just she's always had such a fun personality where she just cracks jokes and. I mean, I say stupid things like that all the time where people could take it wrong, but if you know me, it's a joke. So I kind of felt bad for her that he was making it seem so inappropriate that she did it because she's not actually like, ooh, sexual favors.
Exactly, and
Like, I'm going to climb across the dining room.
It just shows that he's
table.
such a drama queen.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that like kind of got to him, just shut up. You're at dinner, you know?
And he is such a drama queen. Although I will say, if Kris really is so concerned about amending this relationship, there is possibly a better way to go about it than rubbing sunscreen on
She's
someone's
brought,
I agree,
back.
but
she has
at the
brought
same
every one of
time-
her other family
and the-
members
yeah.
to a therapist on television. Why don't you bring Brody?
But they kind of touched on this too. The Kardashians have a very open, funny family, and they joke about sex at the dinner table. And I think she's trying to like say, like, "Hey, Brody, I can have fun too," and it's clearly not working.
Have you noticed how much like screen time Kris has gotten? This has kind of like become the Kris show a little bit this
and
season.
how little Kim has gotten.
Little Kim has gotten little like Courtney and her kid like
Khloe.
Penelope and Mason have just been.
I feel
MIA
like
this
that's
whole
very
season.
intentional though, because I watched an interview where it was Court and Kim on some morning talk show, and Kim was saying how she doesn't want her kids to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's like inspiring Courtney to be like, "Hey, I don't want my kids to be seen by everyone," because we really haven't seen them this season at
And
all.
even, I mean, I feel like all three older girls have had like a much smaller part in
Yeah.
the season. It's been centered around Kris, Brody, A lot of Bruce in the beginning.
A
lot of Bruce in the beginning. A little bit of Rob spurts, but like
I like seeing Kendall and Kylie.
I love seeing Kendall and Kylie. They're great.
Which,
Keep giving us
side note, we need to talk about those pictures with Kendall. Kind of off topic. But she was naked. Up. Was she naked in the pictures?
It blurred out her butt. I assume that was a naked butt.
Is that child porn?
I don't know.
No, it's art.
I didn't think it was that bad because it was like just her backside.
But how old is she? Like 17?
She's like she's 15.
Yeah, I don't think she's even 17.
She's too young for it.
Yeah.
That's inappropriate.
That's very
Absolutely
inappropriate.
Oh, like the family's completely appropriate all the
That's
time.
what I was thinking.
There should be no surprise to us.
But when she's do you remember when Miley Cyrus showed her back?
Like just her back, and she had
when
the
she had like the sheet over her, and it was this huge scandal.
Kendall's just running down the beach butt naked.
Yeah.
Like,
but
hey
look
guys.
at their family on the other hand. Like they've all done Playboy, sex tapes. Like it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy.
I mean, I don't think it's crazy. I just think it's crazy because of her age.
Yeah. If like she was a different her name makes it not crazy, but then I'm like, wait, how old is she? Because these two girls, I forget all the time how old they are, or how young they are.
Yeah.
They grew up fast.
They had
They're
to because of those. And because of their 3 older sisters, and because of how open and sexual their whole family is.
Yeah.
And, I don't really think had much of a. I mean, I think they had a childhood, but like the teenage years, I think have just gone because they've just gone straight into work, and they're being treated like adults now.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about age, I just kind of wanted to quickly bring it back to the Brody topic. I wanted to see if you guys feel the same way. I feel like he acts like he's a teenager.
I agree.
With all this thing, like the family issues, especially like the mommy daddy things. It's like, okay, you're like a grown man now. Do you guys feel that way?
I feel the same way because, okay, if you have an issue with your stepmom, this is something you hash out when you're a teenager, but now you're almost 30, like, move on. You know what I mean?
They've
this is
been
a
married
relationship
for
that
a very
didn't work.
long
You don't
time.
have to, I don't know.
Yeah, just the whole thing's been so mature, and we were talking about before as well. He is having so many issues on this trip, and he's not even for once considering, or I've not heard once, a thank you to Kris. The fact that she booked this trip. He has an amazing trip on a yacht at this beautiful resort in Greece, and the whole time all I can say is, no one here loves me.
And it's like, why now?
Does Brody have a job?
I don't think so.
He's he appears on the Keeping Up with the Kardashians series.
Yeah, but I mean, like outside of that, he doesn't do
I don't
appearances
think
or
so.
anything really anymore, does he?
I don't know.
I'm sure he does.
Brody?
Just not big ones.
Maybe
Not
what do
that
you
we
do?
know.
Brody, what do you do?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Besides
we want to
wine.
support you. Hey, he might have a clothing line or something.
He should. Or actually,
We
no,
need
he
to do
shouldn't.
some
I was like,
research,
I
it
take
sounds
that all
like.
back.
Tweet us or comment and let us know if you know of Brody having a job.
Yeah. So then Brody complains more. Him and his dad and Brandon go off and they go kite sailing, which looks kind of fun.
I think Bruce was drunk this entire episode.
I think he was.
I think Kendall and Kylie were too. Kris definitely was.
Oh, I think they were too. They just drink off
Probably
camera.
everyone but Kim.
Poor thing.
Well,
The usual.
freaking Kendall passed out for 3 hours on the top of the yacht. She wakes up like, come on.
Where am I? Yeah, so Brody starts complaining about how Kris treats Bruce, which they've been married for a long time, and you were even talking when we were watching, Justin, that they know how to make their marriage work.
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. And Bruce just kind of knows, like, this is Chris's world. Just shut up and go along for the ride, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that works for them.
Yeah, I don't know why Brody feels like he needs to stir the pot so much. So not only is this episode about him stirring the pot with his own relationships in this family, but now he's trying to do it with Bruce and Kris, you know?
Yeah.
So they don't have a putting green in the backyard. Stop bringing it up. Like, just let it be. Bruce is fine.
Well,
Yeah, and Bruce can afford to go golfing.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like a golf course in their living area too. Not living area, but subdivision.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, there's got to
He
be.
kind of accused Kris of being just so materialistic.
Okay.
I felt like what did he say?
Yeah,
He
let's talk
worded
about
it-
this big confrontation at the end, because you think they're going to talk, and I thought it was going to literally be like, you weren't there for me growing up, or you weren't this. And he
I'm
said,
sorry.
what did he say?
Did
He
you
called
write
it the lavish lifestyle. And that's what he's against. The lavish lifestyle.
celebrity glamour life.
What is your lifestyle, Brody?
Exactly. I think it was very
You've dated
hypocritical.
Kristen Cavallari, Paris Hilton, Lauren Conrad. I'm pretty sure you live a lavish lifestyle. You spend all your nights at clubs. That's pretty lavish.
Well, I just love, too, how it was built up so dramatically, you know? And so he goes in and he goes, I need to talk to you seriously.
Brutally honest.
And be brutally honest. That's right. And then he goes, I don't like your lifestyle.
Well, and it's like he just pulled that topic out of his ass. Like, I'm really mad at you because
I need to think of something.
Lavish
felt
lifestyle.
like he
You're
had
rich.
to make it up last minute because he didn't want to say.
If I was Kris, I would have said, "Then get off my yacht."
Yeah.
You know, if you're against this,
Yeah, if
that's
you're
fine.
against having this much fun, this fancy dinner, you don't have to be here.
So then I thought they were going to have a really cool moment when Kris was just saying, like, I want my kids to be happy. I want my stepkids to be happy. And I thought she was genuine about that. And I think that's even why she's doing all the momager stuff at the end of the day, like, to make her kids money, to make her kids happy.
She's supporting her entire family by doing that.
And he just kind of was like, you never gave two shits about Brandon and I growing up. Which I don't feel like is true. I feel like Brody had a different family. You know what I mean? He went with his stepmom, or he went with his real mom and his stepdad and did that thing.
Well, and do you know what I did find it surprising, though, that when Kendall was talking to Bruce and was like, I'm really excited about this trip, Dad, because I've never been on a trip with Brody and Brandon and Leah. And I'm just like, how have you never gone on a trip with your, like, she's blood related to them. Like, I felt like that was kind of weird. So I feel like they never really tried growing up to, like, have that type of, like, close bond or, like, do the family things together. They were very separate.
They didn't, and that's why they're having so many issues with Brody and Bruce, because Bruce kind of just, like, left and went all Kardashian, and then the rest of the family did their own thing, and so they're joining up now, way later
But I
on.
wonder if when you're a kid and that's happening, if that was, like, Brody's way of, like, oh, this crazy woman came in and stole my dad and my family.
I'm
And
sure
he
it looks
doesn't
that
realize,
way.
like, you should blame it on your dad. He's the one that's responsible, not your stepmom.
Not Kris. She
Yeah.
was just doing her own thing.
Yeah, she was raising her family, and now she's bringing you to Greece. So.
Yeah.
I'm so team Kris. I'm like,
I
yeah,
am
Kris was
too.
right.
Leave her
She was
alone.
fun. I like her wig.
She likes to drink. We like to drink.
I'm defending her.
Do you guys know what else we like?
wigs.
Cereal Buddies.
Do you like cereal buddies?
Do you like that transition?
Yeah, that was a great
If
one.
you go
Very
to
smooth, very smooth.
cerealbuddies.com, there are links to download Cereal Buddies on Amazon and iTunes, and it's like $4 or $5, and all of the proceeds
$4.99.
$4.99. Exactly. All of the proceeds go back into AfterBuzz, so we can continue to give you these podcasts for free, and it's worth your money. It's got Maria Menounos is in it, Beth Bears from Two Broke Girls, Artie Lang,
Our girl, Kathy Lee Gifford.
Kathy Lee Gifford. That's
Love
what's
me
up.
some Kathy Lee. Where's
Hold
Hoda?
on,
Where's
I know.
Hoda?
Why couldn't she be in it? But yeah, just download it, and you won't regret it. It's really funny.
Yeah. Good
Anybody
stuff.
have anything to add?
Yes.
No? Yeah.
You should
Okay, good.
look us up on iTunes. You can go and
yeah.
look up AfterBuzz TV, look up our Kardashian podcast, and subscribe to it. And
Rate and
we
comment.
love comments, and we love 5 stars. We weren't the original host, and there were other
They weren't blonde,
hosts to
so we
this
voted them
show.
off.
Yes, for the previous season. So we need new likes and new comments about us now.
And we love all the YouTube comments too. Keetin
Yeah,
and I were
the
talking to you
YouTube
guys
comments
last
have been
week.
great. We really appreciate them, and we love, like, you know, if we miss something that you guys remind us, it's helpful. And
Very.
yeah. Also, let's talk about Scott,
Let's talk about
because
Scott.
he's like my favorite Kardashian.
Because,
like,
okay,
for real.
I feel like last week Courtney was very okay with the fact that Scott wasn't coming on the trip, because every time Scott goes on a Kardashian vacation, it's like drama 10 million.
Disaster.
Yeah. And so last week she seemed really okay with it. And then
She almost
I
seemed
think
relaxed that
yeah,
he wasn't
like,
there.
I can just relax because Scott's not going to be there being a little whiny bitch too.
Yeah.
We've already got Brody. But then I feel like Leah made it worse, because she's starting to talk
Oh,
to her. She's
definitely.
like,
Oh.
so Scott's not here.
Talk
Does
about
that-
stirring the
does that,
pot.
Yeah, does that make you sad? What about your kids?
Yeah, that voice of hers does not fool me, because that is the sweetest, nicest voice.
Courtney, do you miss Scott? Like, don't you think he should be here? So, like, with the family, he's missing all these memories. You shouldn't be okay with this. Like, she was, like, literally telling her how she should feel about it. And I'm just like, shut up. Like,
Well,
they
and
have a
like,
different
okay, yes,
relationship.
Leah and Brandon have a very lovey-dovey relationship.
adorable.
But that's not Scott and Courtney at all. That's not
No.
who they are.
I feel like Leah gets away with saying nasty shit and being a bitch because she has this soft air.
Yep, like,
She's
so
such a
sweet.
sweet, angelic girl.
And you're like, wait, what'd you just say?
Yeah.
You know what? And I like couples like Scott and Courtney. You know, we were saying earlier how it is really cool when couples can be away from each other for just a little bit, and for couples to have their alone time, and he can have fun with his friends and she can have fun with their family. If they don't work together with the big family, great. Don't force yourselves to do it.
And I think
do what works for you.
I think they're learning that because obviously we've seen so much happen, and they don't want to get married. They don't want to spend all this time together, and that's just how they work.
I think it's healthy. I can't stand being around the same person all the time. You need to have a little break from each other here and there.
Well, and he even said too that he doesn't want to ruin her trip either.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a very grown-up decision.
Although it looks like now, towards the end of the episode, that now she's regretting being so supportive of that, and she wishes that he was coming sooner, so maybe she's changing her mind.
Well, and then again, they're like, poor Scott gets like everything that ever of Scott that gets put on the TV show is of him being drunk and being stupid. And I know he's not drunk and stupid all the time. Like,
but even if he is, I love it.
I really like Scott, and like I used to hate him, but he's really grown on me.
I felt like Courtney was fine with him not being there until Leah brought it up, though.
Yeah. Well, didn't you think that whole thing with the pictures of the girls coming out of the club was kind of random? Because she's like, I know he didn't do anything. Then why are you bringing it up?
Yeah, I don't even remember. I don't remember seeing anything about that.
It looked like Lindsay Lohan was like
news.
Hunched over in the back of the car, but it wasn't her. Somebody else with a bad wig.
If Scott's with like 5 of his single friends, yes, bring home. Like I'm sure, like he's like a wingman, and then they go off with the girls, and like leave him alone.
You have to
leave Scott alone.
The next YouTube sensation.
I know. So, well, then I think Courtney also sees Brandon and Leah go off on their little day trip and have this thing, but Courtney, if Scott was there, I don't think would go off and spend alone time with Scott, because every time he's ever tried to do that on a vacation, she's like, "No, Scott, we're here to spend time with my family." So I kind of think she's also being dramatic.
Well, and if you remember that one time when where did they go? I think they went to Paris. They went to this bridge, and then like Scott like stood Courtney up and like left her there. So
he does tend to do that.
Yeah.
He's kind of a flake sometimes.
It's okay. We love you, Scott.
No, I think it's a smart move. Like I know that for some of my extended family too, 5 days or 7 days, that's a lot of time. But if you can show up for just 2 days, you can handle it for
smart.
2 days. Smart guy. You can put the best image on for 2 days.
Well, and now it's kind of good too because everybody's focusing on Brody. And so now Scott's not the problem child.
Guy.
Yeah.
I understand why Scott is kind of tentative with coming, though, because all the other vacations they've gone on, they get so mad at him every time.
Yeah.
He can't do anything right when he's around them, especially if it's a Kris like structured and pitched vacation. Like, she controls everything that's going on, and she just nitpicks at everything he does wrong. But I wonder, because like usually on these family vacations, Scott and Rob are the ones that get in trouble. So like it's kind of weird that neither of them are there.
Oh yeah.
So like they were kind of, they've driven golf carts into pools and oceans.
I wanted to bring up Rob earlier when we were talking about Brody, because he invited him on the trip, and then he didn't even go because he was self-conscious of his body. And
we didn't really see him at all this time, so I'm wondering what.
They stopped talking about.
Maybe he's working out. Finally.
You go, Rob.
I mean, they have workout machines in Greece.
That's valid.
I think I don't understand why he would not go.
Well, even Khloe said too. She's like, I don't want to be in a swimsuit in front of you all either, but you don't have to be.
Yeah, and speaking of like Khloe and being in a swimsuit, YOLO. Guys,
yeah. Okay.
YOLO.
Let's talk about the YOLO pact, because there's just a lot of things that happen in the episode that don't really go along. But let's just talk about all of them.
We're gonna talk about the YOLO pact.
So Khloe loves saying YOLO. Was it in Miami where they bought all the YOLO gear when they went out and got wasted? And they brought the cat to the bar.
Yes, and they. Oh my God. Oh.
I forgot about that.
R.I.P.
Rest
Kitty.
in peace, Mercy.
Mercy.
So funny, but I like when
Cortadito.
And there's that like random fat naked guy on the side of the road or on the side of the river.
The rock.
The ocean,
oh yeah, the merman. He was like smoking a cigarette
People
naked.
like to be naked in Greece.
Really?
Or in Europe in general, on beaches.
Nude beaches.
Just like, screw it.
No tan lines.
Literally.
I feel like the people that are always nude on nude beaches are the ones that shouldn't be.
I know, exactly.
And this was the perfect example on this episode, was that man should not be.
I would have done the same thing Courtney did. I'd have been like, pull the boat closer. I want to talk to him.
So funny. I like when they jumped off the boat, though.
That was cute.
We haven't seen Courtney and Khloe do their thing in a while.
Yeah, they play off of each other really, really well. And it's kind of been, like earlier in the season, Khloe got a little left out. And she was a little sad because Kim and Court were like getting so close about the baby talk and stuff. And Khloe was like, what the hell, you guys? So it's kind of nice that like they're having their fun little sisterly time
I love
again.
it.
As Kim has passed out in the bed of this
my God.
the entire time.
Poor thing. She was like so pregnant at this point though.
She's
So
itching.
pregnant.
Oh yeah, so
No,
she
she
put,
just
what are they?
hitting
What is that?
herself.
What is that cream she put on the lizard legs? Is that what they
Lizard
called
legs.
it?
I want to get some of this lizard leg stuff.
tingly.
It makes you tingle.
But you're not supposed to like itch.
So she
Your
just
stretch mar- or-
she just
like, it's
rubs
stretch
and
marks
punches
all
her
over it.
breasts instead of
That was so
scratches
funny
them.
at dinner, and she's just like going to town.
And then she was like, you can't scratch it, it'll give you stretch marks. And then a few cuts later, she's like scratching herself.
Oh, we've got to talk about why they didn't name their baby a K name. So funny. So Kim says, if I'm Kim with a K, Kanye with a K, and we name our baby a K name, then we'll be the KKK.
But I thought of that. What about Courtney, Kim, and Khloe? KKK.
Well, Kris made it fourth.
Oh, yeah.
But it is like the
sisters.
3 daughters. I guess that does make sense.
I don't know.
That's so funny though.
It is, but it was interesting to me that like she just kind of walked right up and was like, "Yeah, we're naming her North." What like this, like that, the name North. It was like such like an announcement, and
Yeah.
nobody knew what it was gonna be. But then like in this episode, she's like, "Oh yeah, we've already decided on North." And I think
Do
they
you
went on this
think-
trip in May.
Do you think maybe they were trying to wait and announce it on the show,
Probably.
and it just leaked? Because they did that with the baby's sex
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like they leaked it to the press the same day that we saw it on the show.
I don't know. I mean, it was kind of, it wasn't a very big deal in this episode. It was just kind of mentioned offhand in this short scene. So I don't think if it was trying to be like announced in this
Yeah.
episode, I think it would have
But I
been
mean,
a bigger
maybe
deal.
it came out, and that's why they played it this way. I don't know.
They
Just a
probably tried to
thought.
keep it on the down low as long as they can. I
Because we
wanted...
still haven't seen pictures.
No.
I know, and we've seen the royal baby. Hello, Prince George.
Hello.
Our royalty in Los Angeles
I know.
is the
I
Kardashians.
know, that's
So
It's American
Show
royalty.
us North. Show us North.
So I think we covered everything, right?
I just wanted to quickly bring up, did Chloe's butt get bigger?
I think it was just the angle or something. Because I feel like
Remember
her
the
body's been
wetsuit part?
rocking. I know that lady's like, I lost 10 pounds trying to get this on you.
Yeah, I would be mad if someone said that to me.
I would too.
I think like they all just have started to own the fact that they're curvy and they got
Yeah.
big booties, and I'm proud. Like, good for them. Like, their butts look like, even though their butts are as big as they are, they look great. They're not like full of cellulite or anything. They're just like badonkadonks.
Proud to be a big booty hoe.
Own it, girls.
That's one of the
Work.
things I love about the Kardashians, since they do, modeling and stuff. All the models in the industry are so thin and so tall. It's like, oh, they have curves and stuff.
Yeah.
They're
Normal.
real people.
And before we go though, going back to YOLO, I do think that if people are home for next episode, if they're not driving anywhere, they should join us in the new YOLO drinking game.
Yes.
They say
Yes.
it so many times on the show that literally every time one of the Kardashians says YOLO,
We're going to drink.
you have to do a shot, you have to drink your wine, just like, in style of Kris.
So when you're watching next week and we're all blacked out, that's why.
That is
and
why.
and if there's any other like fun drinking games you think we could play along with the Kardashians, tweet at us and let us know. Maybe
Bible.
We'll
Bible, we
incorporate
love drinking.
Bible, yes, Bible. Maybe we would do something like that.
Perfect. Let's get into some news and gossip.
News and gossip.
TV News.
You guys, I brought the notebook back, but I didn't write
Keaton's
that
got a
much.
news and gossip notebook.
I have a news and
Excited.
gossip notebook, and it's polka dots and
It's so
awesome.
high tech.
It's very high tech because my printer doesn't work. It's okay. So, there hasn't really been that much in the news this week about the Kardashians, but I did see this funny article about all the things that Kim and Kanye are putting in their house.
About the beds?
The beds as well
Oh
as
my
the.
gosh.
Okay, so they're spending more than $1 million on a security system alone, and
Wait, hold up. I think that's valid.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
I think so, too.
Okay. 4 gold-plated toilets for a total of $750,000.
Toilets.
6
Totally
special
valid.
edition, I can't even say this, Savoy Royal State beds, which take hundreds of hours to create from a unique combination of cashmere, carded virgin lamb's wool, and magnolia horsehair laid over hand-tiered star-lashed springs.
Oh my
The
god.
bed, headboard, and the canopy are all covered in the same decadent gold silk to create an iconic that they create Hermes ties with, and there's only 60 of these beds that have been produced, and they cost about $200,000 each. My favorite thing that they're getting though is the Swarovski encrusted fridge freezer. That's almost $1 million.
I wouldn't want them to have anything else though.
But
it's
again,
Kanye and Kim. They've got to be totally upgraded.
Again, they are Los Angeles royalty.
I know.
But over $1 million for 6 beds. I mean, that's maybe a little over the top, even for the Kardashians.
I still feel like they get everything for free
That's
because
true.
people want their product name. I always think of film TV stuff like product placement when I see things on the show that they're wearing and naming the stores. They
No,
go
I agree,
into.
and especially since it's Kim and Kanye.
Well, and then on a kind of a sadder note, well, one of the people that they were talking to about what they're putting in their house was Kris. And something that I did see earlier this week about Kris was that people are really getting concerned about her drinking. And
I'm not.
I'm not either.
We love it when Kris is a little tipsy on the show, but rumors are starting to swirl that she's drinking too much and she's kind of taking to the drink when she's stressed out. She's very busy right now. She's working on a talk
if you
show
are
and stuff.
running this multi-billion-dollar empire, you better drink. And she is a fun drunk, so there's nothing wrong. You drink, Kris.
Yeah, if she works hard and she wants some wine at the end of the night, I don't care.
Yeah, you go for it.
She can't be drinking that all the time because obviously she's working a ton.
Yeah.
And her empire is still an empire, so
It's still growing.
It's not like she's being a nuisance, I don't think.
Absolutely, and I think people forget too that these cameras are not really around them 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised that maybe it's only 2 or 3 days a week that the cameras are even there. So the fact that they see her drinking all the time on the show, that's not really that often if they're there once or twice a week in her house.
Yeah, we're not watching her being filmed while she's working at her desk.
Exactly.
Of course, they're going to show
Because
the
that's boring.
interesting stuff. I have some other news and gossip. I sent Jason the article. It was kind of depressing, but it said that, I think it was on BuzzFeed, I believe, that the Kardashians show will be wrapping up in 2015.
I saw that.
They
That
have
too.
had enough of the reality TV lifestyle, and since Baby North is in the picture, Kim's starting her own family with Kanye, who doesn't want to be a part of reality TV. I think the rest of the family is kind of burnt out, and they all have their own separate projects they want to work on, so we'll be doing one more season and then over, it sounds like.
It'll be interesting though, because I feel like Kendall and Kylie will still have something, because they're
I
still
bet you
launching
they'll have
themselves
Kendall
off.
and
Modeling or
Kylie
something.
take LA.
LA or something like that. But I feel like Kim is to this point where she doesn't really need to be. She's got so much money and she can take time to just be a mom now.
Well, and they are saying she's changed so much since she's had this baby. She's not even into it anymore. She's completely switched gears and is
Well, and
completely
she's
focused on
worked
this
her
baby.
ass off for the
Oh,
past
yeah.
7 years. It's time for a break.
I don't know. I'm skeptical because I did read the same article. They said up to maybe 3 more seasons if they can squeeze it into 2015. I forget the ballpark figure, but it was quite extraordinary the amount that they were going to get to finish up through 2015.
Yeah.
But I really don't think we have seen the last of the Kardashians.
Oh,
It's
no,
it
never.
may not
We
be
will
called.
never.
We're going to end Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Boo-hoo, but I promise you to all of our listeners, there's going to be many more Kardashian reality shows out there because now the girls are going to have one. Kendall and Kylie.
Oh, for sure.
Rob might
I want
have
Khloe
one.
on a talk show.
I want
Yes.
Khloe. Can we just change the Kris talk show to the Khloe talk
Yeah.
show?
I like the Kris talk show.
I do too. Actually, I want them all to have their own show.
I want Khloe to be there every day with Kris. I saw an episode with her and Khloe, and I just freaking thought
So
it was
funny.
hysterical.
Since we were just talking about how if Kim's going to be coming back into, working all the time, I did read something that she's on a 1,200 calorie diet right now to get off the baby weight. And
breastfeeding at the same time.
yeah,
Burning
lots of breastfeeding.
calories.
So the article was like, is that too little calories? What is she going to do? Is she going to starve? But I don't
She's
think
so tiny too, though.
Yeah,
so I feel like
she's
that's a
kinda
lot
small.
for her height.
She's gonna drop this weight, I bet you,
Oh,
so
yeah.
quick. Cause she was, I felt just was holding in so much water when she was pregnant. She was so bloated all the time. I think the next time we see her, we're gonna be like, oh my god.
I know.
Really, Kim? You look great.
Rockin' bod, rockin' babe. Let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Justin, since it's your first
As
time,
the virgin.
we'll let you
Throw
go
me in
first.
first.
I
As the
know.
virgin.
No, I should be able to
Panel.
go. Oh man, you guys really are throwing me to the wolves. All right, it's my predictions for next episode.
Yeah, or whatever you want to predict.
the future for the
future.
Kardashians.
Future for the Kardashians. Well, their future is going to be bright. That's for sure.
That's
Gosh.
inspiring.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know exactly what I think. I think that for the entire rest of the season, I don't think we're going to see any change from Brody. I think the whole time, nothing's going to be resolved with him. I don't know. Let me hear what you guys are gonna say first, and then I'll go from there.
I absolutely disagree with that.
Really?
I think they've been playing up the storyline of Brody so much that they're gonna have to have some type of resolution at the end. That's what I think is gonna be his story arc of this season, and I'm excited to kind of see why Kendall gets so pissed off next week. I think it's gonna be. I don't know.
I agree, because my favorite reality TV moments are when they don't want the cameras there.
Yeah.
And when she says she was storming off, I'm not filming this.
Yeah. So, because you can tell, okay, this is something that's a little more real.
Yeah, love it.
I'm just excited to see the to be continued, because they didn't really finish the conversation. They left us hanging the cliffhanger with their conversation. Brody and Kris is who I'm talking about. So I want to see what the rest of that discussion is, and hopefully it ends in a hug and civil, and
they're gonna make out
fun.
I still think Rob's gonna come back. I think he's gonna show up when Scott does.
Ooh, new prediction. The Brody thing will end and calm down, and then Scott and Rob show up. Bam! New drama.
And they'll all go out and get drunk together.
No, the end of Grease is gonna be happy.
Okay.
I think the end of Grease, everybody's going to leave on a good note.
Well, we could obviously go on for days and days and days, but we've got to wrap it up in here. In the meantime, where can they find you guys?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter page is Justin J. Nichols, or on Facebook, Justin Nichols.
You can find me on Twitter at KeetinM33, as well as on Instagram.
And you can find me on Twitter at Danica Kennedy and at danicakennedy.com.
And I'm at Jason Ikeler on Twitter and Instagram, and we will all be back in here next week.
See you then.
Thanks, everybody.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later!
Views expressed herein are those of the host only.